Welcome everyone to our discussion today. We are exploring a question that many couples consider. The topic for our conversation is living together before marriage essential for compatibility? To share their perspectives, we have Liam, who believes it is a crucial step, and Olivia, who thinks other factors are more important. Our goal is to explore the different views on this very interesting and relevant question for modern relationships.
Thank you, Sarah. I firmly believe that living together before marriage is a very important test, a key step towards ensuring a long and happy marriage. My first point is about seeing the real person. When you are dating, it's natural to present the best version of yourself. You often see the highlights, the fun times, the well-planned outings. It's a bit like a show. But living together changes that. It shows you their daily habits, both the good ones and the bad ones, the ones you might not expect. You learn how they are when they are genuinely tired after a long day at work, or when they are feeling stressed about something. You also see them when they are just being themselves at home, completely relaxed and not trying to impress anyone. This is the person you will spend your life with. Secondly, it's about practical life compatibility. Marriage isn't just about romantic dinners. It's about sharing a life, day in and day out. This means sharing a physical space. How tidy are they really? Are your standards of cleanliness similar or very different? Who does the household chores? Is there an expectation that one person will do more, or can you share these responsibilities fairly? Then there's the important topic of money. How do they manage their finances? Are they a saver or a spender? Can you talk about bills and joint expenses easily and openly without it becoming an argument? These are crucial financial discussions. These small, everyday things, like who takes out the rubbish or how you decide on the grocery budget, can become big problems later if you don't know about them or address them beforehand. My third point is about teamwork and problem solving. When you live together, you inevitably face small problems and challenges almost every day. For example, what happens if the internet stops working suddenly? Or the washing machine breaks down? Or even simpler, you might disagree on what to have for dinner after both of you are tired. These situations, though minor, clearly show if you can work together as a team to find a solution. Do you support each other, or do you blame each other? It's like a practical training exercise for the bigger, more serious challenges that you might face together in marriage. You build those teamwork muscles. So in conclusion, I think living together helps you make a much better, more informed decision about marriage. It moves beyond just feelings of love, which are vital, but also incorporates the practicalities of everyday living. It ensures that your lifestyles are truly compatible, setting a stronger foundation.
Thank you, Sarah. While I understand Liam's points, I believe that living together before marriage is not essential for determining compatibility. Other factors are far more important. My first point is that true compatibility runs much deeper than just daily habits or who does the dishes. It's about fundamental alignment. It comes from shared core values. What is truly important to each of you in life? What are your beliefs about raising a family, if you plan to have one? What are your long-term goals and dreams? And do they complement each other? These are the big questions. Good communication is absolutely key to understanding this. Can you talk honestly and openly about your feelings, your dreams for the future, and also your fears or worries? You can definitely learn these deeply important things about each other through meaningful conversations and shared experiences, without necessarily sharing a house first. Secondly, living together can sometimes create unintended pressure or even hide existing problems in the relationship. It's not always a clear window. Sometimes, couples might decide to move in together because it seems like the next logical step, or it's financially easier, not because they are genuinely ready for that level of commitment or have discussed what it means. Once you live together, your lives become very intertwined. Shared furniture, maybe a shared pet, joint bills. This can make it much harder to break up if things are not actually right for marriage. There's a kind of inertia that can set in. Some people might also mistakenly think that living together will fix underlying problems in the relationship, but it often doesn't. It can even make them worse. My third point is that the test of compatibility, as Liam described it, can be effectively conducted in other ways. Living together isn't the only method. Couples can make a conscious effort to spend a significant amount of quality time together in various situations. Go on holidays together, especially ones that might involve some challenges or decision-making. Meet each other's families and see how your partner interacts with them and how you fit into their wider circle. This is very revealing. Most importantly, you must talk about everything. Discuss your expectations about home life in detail. How do you envision your daily routines? What are your views on money management? What are your future plans regarding career, children, and lifestyle? These conversations are crucial. Trust and commitment are built through these shared experiences and consistently honest talks, not just by sharing a bathroom or a kitchen. So, to conclude, while living together can certainly be an experience that some couples choose, it's not the only, nor necessarily the best, way to know if you are truly compatible for a lifelong journey. Strong, lasting relationships are built on a foundation of much more than just living under the same roof.
Thank you, Liam, and thank you, Olivia, for your clear and well-reasoned opening statements. You've both given us a lot to think about. Now let's move into a more direct discussion of some of these points you've raised. It's time to explore these ideas further. Liam, Olivia mentioned that she believes true compatibility is deeper than daily habits and that communication about values is key. What's your response to that specific idea?
Thank you, Sarah. Olivia made a very good point about shared values being fundamental, and I absolutely agree they are incredibly important. That's not something I would disagree with at all. But I think living together is precisely where you really see if those shared values translate into practical, real life. It's where the theory meets reality. For example, you can both say you value a clean and tidy house. That's a shared value on paper, but what does clean actually mean to each of you in practice? Does it mean tidying up once a week? Or does it mean everything has to be perfectly in its place every single night? Living together shows this difference very quickly. Olivia also said communication is key, and yes, I agree 100%. And living together provides so many more opportunities, often daily, to communicate about small everyday things. This constant micro-communication builds essential skills and habits for having those bigger, more difficult talks later on. You learn each other's styles. It's not just about discovering bad habits in your partner. It's more about the process of learning to accept those habits. We're learning how to talk about them kindly and constructively to find a compromise. Living together is a very practical, hands-on way to experience your partner's communication style, especially when things are not perfect or when there's a slight disagreement. So I see it as a way that actually supports finding that deeper compatibility Olivia mentioned, by showing how it all works, or doesn't work, in action, every single day.
Liam says that living together shows values in action, and I do understand that perspective. It's true that actions can speak louder than words sometimes. However, I maintain that truly honest and direct conversations can also effectively reveal this. You don't necessarily need to see it to understand it if you communicate well. You can ask very direct questions like, how do you genuinely feel about sharing household chores? Let's be specific. Or, what are your actual spending habits like? And how do you approach saving money? If both partners are committed to honesty, you can gain a very clear picture. He also talked about communication and how living together offers more chances for it. But I think, sometimes, living together can actually make communication worse, especially if one person tends to avoid difficult conversations because they are always together and there's no escape. There's less personal space to step back, think things through alone, and then come back to a discussion calmly. Sometimes, having your own separate space for a while actually helps you prepare for those important conversations. Also, the whole idea of living together being a test, as it's often framed, can add a lot of unnecessary stress and pressure to the relationship. It can feel like an audition. Marriage shouldn't feel like passing an exam or a trial period. It should be a conscious, loving decision made with mutual trust, deep understanding, and shared commitment. These qualities can be built very strongly and authentically without this specific living arrangement being a prerequisite.
Those are very interesting points from both of you, highlighting different aspects of communication and relationship development. We are hearing strong arguments. Now, a question for both of you. It feels like some people experience a kind of societal pressure to live together before marriage these days. It's often seen as the next step. Do you think this external pressure influences couples' decisions? And is that influence generally a good or a bad thing for the relationship? Olivia, perhaps you can start this time?
Yes, Sarah, I definitely think there is some societal pressure, or at least a strong societal expectation in many circles. Many people now view it as a normal, almost automatic step before marriage. In my opinion, this can be a bad thing if couples decide to move in together primarily because everyone else they know is doing it, or because they feel they should to be seen as a serious couple. It absolutely should be a deeply personal choice made by the two individuals involved, based on their own readiness and desires, not something you do because of external pressure or trends. If a couple thoughtfully decides that not living together first is right for them, perhaps due to personal beliefs, values, or simply preference, they shouldn't be made to feel like they are doing something wrong, old-fashioned, or that their relationship is less valid. The primary focus should always be on what is genuinely right for that specific couple and their unique relationship, and how they as individuals best understand each other's long-term suitability and commitment.
I agree with Olivia that no one should feel pressured into any major life decision, including moving in together. It absolutely must be a joint decision, made willingly by both partners. However, I think the reason it's becoming more common, perhaps leading to that feeling of expectation, is because more and more people are recognizing the practical benefits it offers. It's a practical step with tangible advantages. If some of that perceived pressure comes from a desire within society or among peers to encourage couples to make a more informed and careful decision about a lifelong commitment like marriage, then perhaps that's not an entirely bad thing. Ultimately, it's about trying to reduce the risk of future unhappiness or divorce by understanding practical, day-to-day compatibility early on before making legal vows. The end goal for most couples is a strong, happy, and lasting marriage. For many, living together helps build a very solid and realistic foundation by experiencing the day-to-day realities of life together first. To summarize my position, I genuinely believe that living together before marriage is an incredibly valuable, almost essential step for modern couples. It provides unique insights. It's not just about testing the relationship in a negative way. It's more about learning, adapting, and growing together as you navigate the small details of daily life. It's about truly seeing if your daily lives, your habits, and your approaches to domestic life actually match up in a sustainable way. This is crucial for long-term harmony. Living together gives you a much more realistic and comprehensive look at what your future married life together will actually be like. Beyond the romance of dating, I believe it can lead to a stronger, more prepared, and ultimately more resilient marriage because it's a practical way to build that solid foundation for a lifelong partnership.
In conclusion, while I acknowledge that living together can be one way for some couples to learn more about a partner, I maintain that it is not essential for determining true, deep compatibility. Strong, lasting compatibility is primarily built on a foundation of deep mutual understanding, genuinely shared core values, consistently good communication, and unwavering commitment from both individuals. These vital elements can be developed very effectively and thoroughly through intentional effort, open dialogue, and varied shared experiences, without the specific act of cohabiting before marriage. Focusing too much on living together as the ultimate test might inadvertently cause us to forget or undervalue these more fundamental and perhaps more important parts of building a strong relationship. The most important thing, in my view, is that each couple makes a thoughtful, conscious choice about their path to marriage, not simply following a prescribed script or a societal trend.
Thank you so much, Liam, and thank you, Olivia, for this very thoughtful, respectful, and engaging discussion today. You've both articulated your positions very clearly. We've heard strong and compelling arguments on both sides of the question of whether living together before marriage is truly essential for compatibility. Ultimately, as we've explored, it seems the decision really depends on individual beliefs, personal values, and what works best for each unique couple on their journey. That is all the time we have for today's broadcast. Thank you to our viewers for watching and contemplating this topic with us.